What's up, everyone? It's Jeremy Majors here with Majors Academy Dog Training out of Green Bay, Wisconsin. And we are live on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Ain't nothing different. We're here to answer questions. So ask me anything you like. I do want to talk about a few different things that just come up as something that I see a lot online. And if I think something that I see a lot online is not true, then I want to kind of come in here and bring perspective, bring a little bit, uh, bring some balance. So that topic is putting morality, human morality, on your dogs. Just want to briefly talk about that for a while because I think we allow things to get out of control. We have allowed things to get out of control, and that is the perception of what a dog actually is. I think most of the time people have good intentions as far as promoting dogs as the most loyal, best creature that is walking the planet. You know, they can never do any wrong. Um, it's always somebody else's fault. Uh, and I'm here to tell you, I have a different perspective on that because I think it's dangerous to um, allow people to think that dogs aren't trying to survive as a priority. Most people think that their dogs choose them as the priority. And we love the fact that we're chosen by something a lot. We like that. And well, things become really unclear for a lot of people when the dog does behavior that you try and say is good or bad. But again, it's survival driven. So, for an example, jumping, we can talk about that. Um, the dog knows that it does the dog jump on you because it likes you, or does it jump on you because now you're home and you can be controlled by him? Does the dog really like you? Is the dog jumping on you because it loves you, or is the you are the enabler? And again, he's taking you by the hand and saying, "Do this for me, do this for me, and do this for me." So, to again, a dog's mind, and a lot of people that deal with this thing would say that you know, well, he's happy to see me. She's happy to see me when I walk through the door. I love that feeling that I get when I pet my dog and show attention. And I have really thought about that as a psychology for a very long time. Um, I've thought, why? Why does the dog jump? Why does the dog bark? Why does the dog do so? We as humans obviously label that as bad, right? Jumping is bad, barking is bad, biting is bad. But is it bad to them? Or is it just them acting out their survival drive? We're the ones that say that's bad. Therefore, we have to teach what's bad and good. Are their dogs less likely to be pushy? Yeah. But for my pushy ones, for my ones that I think have more of a survival drive, for lack of a better word, they're going to put that as the priority and not us. Um, the confusion becomes when we think we are the priority. We think the dog is jumping on us and being obnoxious to us because it loves me. Well, and I'm not saying that that's totally not the case, but what I'm saying is um, a lot of it is survival driven. The dog wants to make sure that it'll always be fed, and it can get free massages, and it can get attention when it wants. I don't think for any being alive that attention when you want it at a moment's notice is good for you. With minimal effort, you just get attention if you just do minimal effort. Dogs coming over to you, bumping your hand, scratching at you, jumping at you, barking at you, doing very simple behavior for them, and they get what they want. They get a free massage. They get a treat. They get to go outside. They get to go for a walk or something like that. So I just don't want people to, I don't want the narrative to go on that we need to hold dogs to human morality, because that's where things can go wrong. So I'm thinking of an example. There's a post on the internet that said, wolves are monogamous. Wolves will never deceive. Wolves will take care of their parents when they die. Wolves will just, again, painting a very distorted view on wolves. Do they do some of those things? Absolutely. But they also do things that you won't like due to their need to survive, like eliminate other packs, puppies or cubs. Didn't put that one up there on that list though, did you? You know, you were trying to give a perspective on a wild animal as if it could do no wrong, and that's not healthy. Makes you feel good in the moment, but it's not healthy. So the real question becomes, again, this is morality versus survival. Make sure that your dog's behavior is not one of which he thinks he needs to manipulate you in order for him to survive, him or her to survive. Because if you have that mentality, if your dog has that mentality, if you have that mentality with your dog will become pushy, and he'll be a jerk at his discretion with his space, with his territory, with his owners, with his bones, and everything that he or she wants. So, all right, guys, I'll take a little brief moment to pause on the rant. But if anybody has any questions about what I just said, feel free to ask. Or if you just have any questions about anything dog related, please feel free to go ahead and ask and interrupt me at any point if you want me to answer your questions. All right. So yeah, guys, you know, I'm tough on rescues. I've definitely been critical of them, and because I see the opposite side of what happens if rescues are not ran properly, if owners aren't properly, not just rescues, but humane societies too. They're not doing a good enough job, especially the one in my area. They're not doing a good enough job informing their owners on what kind of dog they're getting. And thank you, Pat. How are you? Happy New Year to you. And I think I think it's really unethical that if, for one, you're not properly temperament testing your dogs, or number two, you don't care and you're just trying to get dogs in and out because there's so much of them. But my philosophy, and this is just my philosophy, is I want to deal with a small amount of dogs that I can put a lot of time in, as opposed to having a lot of dogs and I don't know who the hell they are. I think that that's more dangerous than anything else, because you're putting dogs into homes where you don't know. You don't know them. And then you kind of lie about what they are. You know, where people call me up and all hesitant. Well, I think he's definitely got some pity in him, but I'm not sure. You know, it might be a lab mix. As soon as someone calls me and tells me they have a lab mix, I'm like, that's a pit. I'm sure. You know, like they'll say lab mix or mixed with mix, man. You know, all this other stuff. The rescues and the humane societies are probably responsible for that, because, you know, they if let's say a dog is 90% pit bull and there's 10% that it's a standard poodle. Well, guess what? They're going to put standard poodle mix. That's what they're going to put. You know, they're not going to put pit, which I get it. I get it. I get it. However, again, I think we have to slide that underneath the requirements of informing people what kind of dog they are getting. If it's 90% pit bull, then it probably will act like a pit bull 90% of the time. And at least then people will say, okay, well, let's do some research on a pit bull, and let's do some let's put some things in place because we have a pit bull and we know it. Versus, you know, saying it's a poodle mix, and that's just such a big difference. They don't say poodle mix. Let's just say lab mix, because that's what happens. And then in the owner's mind, they're like, it's a lab. So labs are a lot less likely to do. Labs are good, okay, but again, it's still mixed with a terrier, and terriers definitely have different needs, or require different things, require different exercise, different rules too. So helping people become informed about what kind of dog they're adopting is probably one of the things I see missing in good rescue work. I'm not saying that there aren't good rescues out there. What I'm saying is pretty easy for me to tell a non. I think the driving force is evident in the way that they post descriptions about certain dogs. It's very clear to me that they're getting dog. They just want to get dogs in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out. And again, I think that that's more dangerous. It's more dangerous than anything, because I get calls with people with the same story. Well, how long have you had the dog? A year, 6 months, 3 months, 2 weeks. Where'd you get the dog from? Blah, 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 something, something, something rescue. Did they inform you that this dog would act like this? Did they inform you that the dog was child aggressive? Did they inform you that the dog was dog aggressive? All they told us was that he was selfish about toys in the home with the kids. So it'd be better that if we didn't have any kids. Okay, so that's all you got, huh? Okay. Well, they should be responsible. This is how a phone conversation would go. Well, they should be held responsible for some of this. I often say, can you go back and ask them to help for training? Because clearly, if you knew what you were getting into, you could have at least, again, prepared and or said no. It's like these dogs act like this out of nowhere with minimal resources. There should be a standard. There should be a standard amongst all dogs that if you do this, and this, you will avoid these unwanted behaviors. Oh, I can get rid of the phone now. But if you do this, there should be a standard. Behavior-wise, not obedience-wise. There should be a standard about what you should not allow to happen to not guarantee, but to really have a good shot at not doing these behaviors, because that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing. I have a standard and I don't allow X, Y, and Z, and I get the same behavior as a result across all dogs, across all sizes, across all temperaments, across everything. I mean, that's the definition of a standard. You have to be able to do what are the things we have to concentrate on, and what are the things we can be picky about. But there are things amongst all dogs that you should concentrate on not allowing to happen. And if rescues, if humane societies were really hard on that, I think you'd see better or lower turnover rate, or what do they call it? Repossession or whatever. I think you'd see a lot less of that. So, let people have a informed decision on if they want to take on this dog, and inform them on what kind of dog they are getting, because it feels really good to rescue. So a lot of people want to do that, and you shouldn't take advantage of people's uneducation to just get the dog out of your space, because some dogs are just tough dogs, and as to nobody's fault either. Sometimes there are just, let me say that again. Sometimes there are just tough dogs, and it's not a human's fault. Because we as humans, boy, we really put the blame always on the human. The humans failed this dog. All right, I can get with it a little bit. I can get with it. However, you're talking to someone who has taken dogs from perfectly good bloodline, perfectly good breeders. I mean, good is very subjective about breeders, but just perfectly good homes. No, there's never been any abuse, never any neglect, nothing, nada, neither, nada. And those dogs are just as tough, if not tougher, than dogs who come from horrible situations. So I've throughout my years, now I'm on year 18. I've been doing this for 18 years. And I've worked with tough dogs for that long. So sometimes the overanalyzing of where the dog came from can be used as a manipulative tool, or can be used as to give the dog a pass on unwanted behavior as well. We feeling sorry for them because they came from X, Y, and Z. And this isn't to say that you shouldn't, but you can keep a dog from growing if you're constantly giving excuses as to why you tolerate behavior that you would tolerate from a dog that came from a perfectly good breeder situation. And that can be jumping or barking. Because a lot of dogs, if they're truly not wanting certain people around, certain dogs around, then they're not going to just bark their head off. I mean, if it's true fear, then they're going to deal with the fear first and not think that they have a way to alleviate it by being pushy or assertive. So 9 times out of 10, when I talk to owners and they say it's fear based, okay, we got to break that down, because it ain't just fear based, so that I can get the client to understand that, all right, don't necessarily just melt to his behavior because you think it comes from fear. Just doesn't come just from fear. Some truly fearful dogs will just avoid you if they're truly afraid. They'll go in a corner. They're not coming up jumping. Some do, but most of the behavior is mixed with, I need to do this, which is fear-based, and I can do this, which is because I can do a lot of things on my own or for me, which is sort of the brat. And I'd say the latter is more of what I see. So it's just about learning how to read dogs and being able to distinguish the behavior and where it's coming from, and then how to address it based on why it's happening. Because you do want to be respectful of fear. You do want to give space for fear. But sometimes it can be disguised. Dogs can disguise their behavior and look a certain way, where if they're really smart, they will do that to get out of something or to get something they want. So, all right, those of you who just joined, if you guys want to ask any questions, feel free to ask as many as you like about dogs. Anything you like, it doesn't matter. What up, Jerry? Happy New Year. Yeah, feel free to ask anything you like. We're talking about morality and survival. And to kind of circle back to it, again, just bringing balance to the conversation. If we're making dogs out to be something that should be felt sorry for right out of the gate, it's a unhealthy perspective narrative to allow to go with unchecked. And I don't like Facebook drama, don't like social media drama, but sometimes I read posts and I have to say something, because I don't want people to get the wrong impression about dogs and that. I think 2024 going to be a good year. Very proud of you and all of you accomplished. Back at you, brother. Back at you, man. It's great to have witnessed your dedication to your family. It's very inspirational. So, man, y'all come up to Wisconsin sometime, bro. Let's hang out. I just cooked my first brisket yesterday, and it was hitting. So shout out to you and your family, bro. All right. So yeah, back to it. We got a question here. Hold on. Pat says, hey, Jeremy, I rescued Rocky a year ago this month. He made tremendous progress. In the recent months, he started barking at me incessantly. I have reprimanded, yelled, put him in his crate, etc., and he won't stop. But if I put his e-collar on, he stops immediately and becomes quiet and submissive. Now that the e-collar isn't turned on, what can I do to get him to stop barking without always having to put the e-collar on him or put him outside? Good question. So what you want to do is make sure you are making sure that you are using more voice and less e-collar now. And sometimes you may have to stand there for a pretty significant amount of time at the crate, getting your dog to lay down without the e-collar. He needs to know that barking isn't going to get him what he wants. As a matter of fact, it's going to get him to give you it's going to give him a command that he doesn't want to do. And this is like that testing of the fire thing. And if you overcome this, you'll see a dramatic change because it's pretty heavy. So what you can do is get the dog to lay down in the crate and then tell him to stay with your voice, not the e-collar. Go away from the e-collar, because when a dog, again, is so subject to an e-collar, that means that we have to start to use other layers, and those layers need to mean more, as much or more than the e-collar, so that he's not e-collar smart. So he needs to know that your word, no matter what collar's on him, he will listen to you. So put him in the crate when he starts to bark, or whenever. Don't not just when he starts to bark, but whenever you want him to be in the crate. And then when he's in the crate, tell him down. And you wait until he gets down. You can even tell him to go down first, but make sure he goes in a down before you back away from him. All right. And don't be afraid to increase your volume of your voice either, because and it's okay. He's raising his voice at you. So yeah, put him in a down, tell him to stay, walk away from the crate. Again, eventually at the very end, what you want to do is make sure he knows that no pushy behavior gets him anything he likes or wants. All right. I hope that makes sense. All right. All right. Another question from coworker. 6-month puppy, decently obedient, sits, shakes, even goes into a kennel at night, but chews on stuff when left alone. How to stop chewing? So a couple of things when it comes to chewing. Is the puppy in the crate at home when you're gone? I mean, is the puppy in the crate when you're gone? And if not, the puppy should be in the crate when you're gone. Don't give anything in the crate that the puppy will chew up on. Just make sure the puppy is adequately exercised. That is the driving force for any dog to express their anxiety by chewing. It's just a form of exercise. And so sometimes, depending on the dog you got, you may have to increase his exercise output before you leave him for work or whatever. Whenever you don't want him to stop chewing, you just exercise him and then put him in a crate with nothing he can chew on, so that he doesn't habitually release his anxiety on chewing things that he shouldn't be chewing on while you're gone. And 6 months is pretty young for a dog to be left out alone, if that's the case. So either you're leaving, if you're leaving them outside of the crate when you're not home, don't. And if you are having him in the crate and he's chewing on stuff in the crate, take the stuff out the crate. But then also, again, increase exercise and see how he does on a day where he's really exercised, because he may not chew up anything, may not have the energy to. So hope that makes sense. Appreciate the question. Yeah. Back to your question, Pat. Yeah, it's truly about layers, man. Again, when I get a dog who only behaves when the e-collar's on, then we gotta address the other layers that are lacking. He doesn't take your voice serious enough, your presence serious enough. He needs to respect the fact that if he doesn't like your ugliness, then he needs to choose to lay down and not deal with your ugliness, which just means you sitting there telling him to lay down, go away. So he needs to respect those things. That's the other thing you can work on that I'm sure is happening. If he is out and he's being pushy for attention, you need to be able to have the ability to get your dog out of your face. It's okay if your dog can respect the fact that you're annoyed with him. So you can say, go lay down, go. Very important in how a dog it tells me if a dog is going to be pushy or not. If he can respect the fact that when you say go away, it does. So that's what I would do. And if his pushiness gets you to do stuff for him, then he'll try it in other areas, and that's where you could be struggling. All right. All right. Another question. Castile, 1-year-old GSD. He stayed with you back in March. He started pawing at us, grabbing at us with his paws and unusually scratching and sometimes mouthing our arms and hands. What can we do? Just what I told you. Just what I just said. Get that dog to respect the fact that you say, go away. Get the dog out your face. It's going to help him out. And it's such a strong indicator of a healthy relationship between you and your dog. Your dog must know that when the play is over and you're done petting, that you should go away now. Or if I'm eating, go away. If I just don't want you're in my face, go. I'm busy. It's okay, guys. It's okay. The dog won't hate you. As a matter of fact, the dog will respect you more because you actually put your foot down and you're being respectful. You made him respectful, which and then turns into him trusting you if you're still having issues in other areas as far as him being territorial with you on the walks or in the house. Yeah, so make sure that you can teach this dog to get out your face when you want it to. Tell him to go lay down. It's okay. It's very healthy. Do not give in to that because those pushy behaviors lead to things that are bad, really bad. So label those behaviors that you just put up there as bad. Pawing is bad. Grabbing at us with his paws and scratching, that's all bad. So treat it as if, though, you know where that road is going to head, which is back to being reactive or back to being aggressive. It's all about not tolerating those little attempts to take advantage. It's all about really helping the dog understand you're not going to be obnoxious in any way. I don't care how much I like you. It's not even you. It's just who the owners have allowed you to be. It's not who you are. Because when they come to me and those boundaries are set, then you see the real dog. Getting back to, I often say that I'm getting dogs back to puppyhood. We have to go back to the basics. We have to go back to puppyhood. Because for so long, it was allowed to, I guess, be what the environment called for them to be instead of their best selves. So just had one like that, pawing at old lady skin. Taught him don't. Yes. Don't tolerate that. In the dog's mind, it's going to be like climbing up the ladder. What else can I do? What else can I do? What else can I do? I don't want you to have this. I don't want him around. I don't want this dog around. It's all the same. It's all rooted in the same thing. Can some dogs do obnoxious behavior without biting? Absolutely. It's not what I'm saying. It's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is dogs that do those bad behaviors also always do those other remedial behaviors we're talking about, those pushy behaviors. You're dealing with just like an insecure, big, overgrown puppy, so to speak. You can literally keep them from maturing if they are too spoiled. If you spoil a dog, you can keep them from maturing and they act like big ass puppies for a very long time. And puppies, once they become 60, 70 pounds, that puppy behavior is annoying, obnoxious. But that's what literally is happening. all the dogs that I work with are acting like big overgrown puppies because they weren't challenged. They weren't pushed. They weren't allowed to grow separate. And so they come here and they pout like babies. Where's my mama? Where did she go? When are they coming back? And it makes them less social in general. It makes them not want to do things they don't want to do. And then he tries to bite the trainer because I just want what I want, and I want my owners right now. I don't want you to tell me to do all these things, and I don't want to do this, and I don't want to do that, and I really don't want to go back in the crate. And yeah, so it just sort of creates a dog who's not social and doesn't care to even open up to other dogs. So imagine having a dog that you can't do stuff with. You only can enjoy a certain percentage of the time, and you're afraid. You can't have people over. You can't have dog dates. You can't go to the dog park. It almost is, this dog almost is messing up your social life. So what I'm saying is, treat the dog make sure the dog is respectful for you guys inside the home, and it will treat the outside world as with the same respect. But if it is allowed to be disrespectful and not listen, and you don't get up off that couch, sometimes you got to get up off that couch and you got to go get the dog. Yeah. If you're saying a command, you might as well do it. Otherwise, don't say it. Like, if you know your dog's not going to come, you know your dog's not going to sit, and you know you're not willing to put in the work to get the dog to sit, despite stress, then how can he even trust you? How can a dog even trust you when it's under stress, when you don't even get the dog to follow through with what you want, when there's zero stress? Doesn't trust you. So he's out on leash and he goes, "You trying to tell me something? You don't even make me listen at the house. How do you want me to listen when there's a dog that I think is going to kill me? What, you want me to listen to you? You don't, what? You want me to do what? Hell no. I don't feel safe with you. You don't even tell me what to do at all. I get to do what I want. I'm not a human. You want me to, like, I bark every day in the house at the UPS man, the mailman, and I hear you sometimes. You stay quiet, and maybe every now and then, every 5 attempts, I'll listen, for a minute, for a second. If you give me something, where's my treat? But you expect me? I'm in charge, man. Like, what? First of all, I'm talking from a dog's perspective. Let me cook. You don't even like. Okay, now I lost my train of thought. But how do you expect me to take your word for it when I'm the one that's in charge? And on top of that, you're preventing me from going over there to show that I want that dog to be out of my face. You're preventing me to do that, and I'm the leader. You should be the one on leash, because I have to be the one that steps up if this is dangerous, because I think this is dangerous. So how are you going to put me on leash? How are you going to limit my choice making ability now when you don't limit any choice making ability in the house? I do what I want. What do you mean? I'm going to do what I want here. I do what I want inside the house. Don't try and make me listen to you. You listen to me. Yeah. Yes. That's how some dogs think. Hell with listening to you when there's something I think is going to cause me harm. I don't even listen to you when there's no harm. And I make the majority of the choices up in here. When I want something, all I got to do is be cute. All I got to do is come over there, put my paw on you, bark at you, jump on you. You do what I want. And now you got me on leash. You ain't going to protect me. I don't feel safe with you. Yeah, that's how it is. That's how it is. Dog cannot trust the owner because it doesn't even respect the owner. Can you have trust without respect? I don't think so. All right, guys. I'm going to get out of here. Happy Friday. Have a great weekend. We'll see you guys in the next time. See you later.